Alright, so I'm going to continue with part 2. So starting with number 11 here. It says a thermometer measures a person's temperature to an accuracy of plus or minus 0.15 degrees. Which inequality best represents the temperature of a person, T, if the reading on the thermometer currently reads 101.2? So I know, okay, if it currently reads 101.2 and it's an accuracy of plus or minus 0.15, I know that it could be plus 0.15 or it could be minus 0.15. Okay, so let's see, what's 101 points? That'll be 101.35, or it could be 101.05. So anywhere between there could be my actual temperature. So I kind of look at this, and I look at what these show. Okay, this says that the difference between the temperature that it really is and the temperature that it says needs to be less than or equal to 0.15. So if I really am at 101.05 and I subtract that, it has to be within 0.15. That sounds kind of good. If I add my current temperature and the temperature the thermometer gives me, it needs to be greater than 0.15. So if I add 101 and 101.5 and 101.2, then it needs to be greater than 0.15. That doesn't match with what this is saying. It says within. So within, I'm thinking less than. Alright, this is my temperature minus 0.15 needs to be greater than 101.2. Definitely not. It can't be more than 101.2. And then this one, you can see there's already error right here. It's 101.5. So right away I know it's not it. So the answer is here, A. Okay, the number that goes on the inside is the number that's in the center. So 101.2. The range is what goes on the outside of the absolute value. So it had a range of plus or minus 0.15 within this amount that goes on the outside. Alright, number 12 is also a system of equations, but only two. If you wanted to use a matrix, then you would have to move the 4x to this side. Now I'm going to do it a little different way so you can see another way. The other way is to get a y equal. So I see this one's already y equal negative 4x plus 7. To get this one y equal, first I'd move x over. So that would be negative 4y equal negative x plus 6. So I move x over, it's going to become negative. Divide everything by negative 4. So now I've got y equal positive 1/4 x minus, let's see, that's 3/2. So now I get to graph. I'm going to graph this one on y1, this one on y2. Y equal, clear these out, negative 4x plus 7 in the first one. Or, sorry, I did the second one. 1/4x minus 3/2. Alright, now I already know my calculator's kind of messed up because I've been playing with my calculator. So I'm going to go to Zoom Standard to get it back. Okay, so here's the first line, and yours calculators are in color. There's the second one, and the answer is my intersection. If there's no intersection, that means there's no solution, but there's an intersection here. So I do second calc intersect, hit enter 3 times. So my answer is 2, negative 1. So it's asking me what is the x value. So the x value is 2. There we go. Okay. Alright, number 13 is another absolute value equation. Again, there's a number out front. I need to divide it. Okay, so now I've got 1 minus 1/4 x equals 3. I split 1 minus 1/4 x equal 3. 1 minus 1/4 x equal negative 3. Subtract the 1. I get negative 1/4 x equal 2. Now this one I'm going to multiply by negative 4 to both sides. So then that goes away, and I got x equal negative 8. And then this one I'm going to subtract 1 as well. So I've got negative 1/4 equal negative 4. I'm going to multiply by negative 4 again. Oh, I forgot my x. So negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So x equals 16. Then I would go back and I would check my answers. So I'd plug this in the calculator and make sure it equals 9. For those that later on, none of these answers were correct. I found that mistake, so I apologize. So the answers are negative 8 and 16. Again, the thing is splitting. Alright, number 14 wants to know which statement is true. So your original equation is x. Then what it's asking you to do is on the inside of it, subtract 4, and on the outside, multiply by negative 2. So I'm shifting it right 4, because on the inside it's opposite, it's left or right. So it's going to be right 4, and I'm multiplying by a negative, so that means it's going to reflect, and it's multiplied by 2, so that means it's going to do a stretch. Okay, so the question is, f of x and g of x have the same domain of negative infinity to positive infinity. Well, this was a line. Okay, a line usually looks like this. So the domain, if you look, it keeps going left and it keeps going right. So yes, it's negative infinity. Moving it up and reflecting it is not going to do anything. Okay, so it's still the same. 2 says has a translated 4 units to the left compared to g of x. Nope, it's not 4 units to the left because it's minus. It's going to be to the right. It's opposite on the inside. So that one is false. They have the same range. Well, let's look at a line. The range is your y values. So it looks like it's going down and it's going up. So if it keeps going down and keeps going up, the graph, it is negative infinity to positive infinity. And then it says f of x is the inverse of g of x. I'm not really sure about that one, so let me look at the answer choices. Let's see. I know 1 and 3 for sure. So that's it. There we go. We already know 2, so I don't even have to worry about knowing whether or not that one's correct because I know 3 is correct, so this isn't right. This one's not right because I know 1's correct. My answer is F. Okay. Alright, number 17 I covered in some of the classes. It's asking you to find the inverse. To find the inverse, you must switch x and y. So I see x is negative 4, y is 4. So the inverse would be 4 comma negative 4. Okay, because remember, f of x is the same thing as y. Alright, the inverse of 0, 0, well, that's still 0, 0. The inverse of this one will be negative 4 comma 4. So when I want to find the inverse, I switch x and y. So this one comes up here, this one goes on here. Same thing here. So I look, 4 comma negative 4, nope. 4 comma negative 4, nope. 4 comma negative 4, yes. Let me check, no. Answer C. So to find the, So to find the inverse, you switch x and y, and then plot it. Alright, number 18 you skipped. Number 19 I'm going to skip because I've already done several like this. Again, you can put in a matrix or get in a y equal. Alright, number 20 is setting up a system equation. So it's trying to figure out what goes with what. So a chemist wants to mix a new solution that is 18% pure salt. He has 2 solutions with 9% pure salt, X, and 24% pure salt, Y. So you have solution X and Y. One of them has 9%, one has 20%. He wants to make 250 milliliters of new solution. So this is what he wants. So that means that's the total. So right away I already know total I need to add. So I need an equation that adds the x and y to be 250. Not F, not G. It's out of H or J. Alright, now looking at H and J, the difference between these two is this here. So what is that 18? The 18 represents that, and you keep reading as well, which system of equations could be used to find the amount of pure salt needed to make 250 milliliters of 18% pure salt. 18%. What do we always do per percent? Change them to a decimal. Did they do that here? No. The answer is this. Because you want 18% of 250. There's my answer. Okay. Alright, number 21 real quick is another inverse. So it says if the price of a camping vacation can be expressed as a function as the number of nights. So here's my two things. The price of a camping vacation as a function of a number of nights. If I want to find the inverse, I literally switch those two. So now it's going to say if number of nights, so if the number of nights, let's see, oh, these two are out, as a function of the price of the camping. There we go, the price of the camping vacation. It had nothing, this said nothing about price per night, so I don't even have to worry about that one. So the answer is B. So inverse, you literally switch the two. Alright, 22 is another inverse. You switch x and y. So x is equal to 1/5 y plus 12. Because remember, this is y. So I switch x and y. Now, of course, we hate it in x equal. So I'm going to move it over, subtract 12. So now I've got 1/5 y. To get rid of 1/5, I'm going to multiply by 5, both sides. So now I've got 5x minus 60 equal y. There's my answer. So to find the inverse, you switch x and y and solve back again. Alright, my video may cut off for me, but the last two real quick. 23, this is the wrong answer because this is absolute value. Okay, there's another two that I want to touch on base real quick. X cubed is another parent function. It's a cubic function, and the inverse of a cubic is a cube root. Just like squared, the inverse is square root. Okay, so there's the two other functions that you can look at, and you can put those in a graph. You can go to math to get that. Alright, number 24, once you describe the transformation, what you should do is put this in the calculator. Under y equal, plug in 3 minus absolute value of x and determine. Now, I already know that because it's a negative outside, it's going to reflect. so it's out of A or J, or H and J, sorry. Then it has a positive 3 on the outside, so that means it's going to shift up 3. So H. All right, there we are.